Welcome to the Bookworm Duo, where we explore a variety of books. Let's get started. Today, we're diving deep into Ali Hazelwood's novel, Deep End. You've shared this book with us, so it looks like you're ready to explore the twists and turns of this emotional roller coaster. To help us unpack it all, we have an expert in contemporary romance literature.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to delve into this one. Hazelwood has a knack for blending romance with complex themes, and Deep End is a prime example of that.
Let's start with our main character, Scarlett Vandermeer. She's a Stanford diver struggling to overcome a mental block after a serious injury. It's more than just a physical setback. It's a psychological hurdle that has her questioning her entire diving career.
It's interesting how Hazelwood uses this injury as a catalyst for Scarlett's emotional journey. It forces her to confront her deepest fears and insecurities, pushing her to a breaking point.
And to make matters even more complicated, she's thrown into an unexpected situation with Penelope, Penn Ross, a fellow diver, and her boyfriend. Swimming superstar Lucas Blomqvist, Penn, surprisingly, suggests a threesome, creating a very awkward dynamic.
That's definitely a way to shake things up. Penn's suggestion throws a wrench into their relationships, forcing them to confront their desires and boundaries. It's clear from the beginning that Penn and Lucas's relationship isn't as idyllic as it seems.
Scarlett's trying to deal with her past trauma, navigate her attraction to Lucas, and now she's got this proposition hanging over her head.
It's a recipe for an emotional explosion, and Hazelwood doesn't shy away from exploring the messy complexities of these characters' lives.
Despite the awkwardness, Scarlett finds herself intrigued by Lucas. There's something about his quiet intensity and dedication to a sport that draws her in. He's not your typical bad boy. He's more of an enigma.
I think that's what makes him so compelling. Hazelwood plays with the strong, silent type archetype, but she gives Lucas depth. His stoicism is a shield, a way to protect himself from vulnerability, but his interactions with Scarlett, especially within the context of their shared interest in BDSM, allow him to explore that vulnerability in a way he hasn't before.
It's a side of him that we don't see in his public persona as a star athlete. Speaking of unexpected pairings, Scarlett and Lucas end up working together on a research project. Talk about forced proximity.
It's a classic romance trope, but Hazelwood utilizes it effectively to force these characters to confront their feelings for each other. Their shared interest in BDSM adds another layer of complexity, creating a space where they can explore their desires and connect on a deeper level.
It's fascinating how their kinks and desires become a catalyst for intimacy and vulnerability. It challenges the stereotypical view of BDSM and shows how it can be a way for people to connect authentically.
Absolutely. Hazelwood is skillful in portraying the emotional and psychological aspects of BDSM, showing how it can be a form of communication and trust building within a relationship.
But things take a turn when Penn and Lucas break up. It turns out their relationship wasn't as perfect as it seemed.
Penn struggles with self-worth, and the lack of passion in their relationship ultimately lead to their downfall. This breakup has ripple effects on everyone involved, especially Scarlett, who's caught in the middle.
It's a tangled web, and the emotional stakes get even higher. As Scarlett and Lucas navigate the fallout from the breakup, their relationship becomes strained. Lucas admits to resenting Scarlett for needing him, which creates a rift between them.
This is a pivotal moment in their relationship. It highlights the power dynamics at play and the fear of vulnerability that both characters are experiencing. Lucas's past experiences have made him aware of emotional dependence, and he projects those fears onto Scarlett.
And yet, despite the turmoil, Scarlett continues to grow and excel in her diving career. She even qualifies for the World Championships in Amsterdam.
Scarlett's journey is one of self-discovery and empowerment. She learns to confront her fears, embrace her desires, and ultimately find her own strength. It's inspiring to see her overcome her mental block and reclaim her passion for diving.
But her personal life is still a mess, just when things seem to be looking up professionally. Her relationship with Lucas hits a wall. His resentment and fear of vulnerability create a seemingly insurmountable obstacle.
It's a classic push and pull dynamic. They're drawn to each other but terrified of getting hurt. It sets the stage for some intense conflict and hopefully some much-needed communication.
And just as their relationship implodes, Penn reveals a bombshell. Lucas wasn't with her out of love, but out of gratitude.
This revelation adds another layer of complexity to the story. It highlights the different motivations people have for being together and the potential for misunderstandings and hurt feelings. It also raises questions about the nature of their BDSM dynamic and whether it was truly consensual and empowering for Penn.
So now we're left wondering, where do they go from here? Can Scarlett and Lucas overcome their pasts and build a relationship based on trust and vulnerability? And what about Penn? Where does she fit into this equation now?
That's what we'll explore as we delve deeper into the second part of Deep End. Hazelwood has woven a complex web of relationships and emotions, and I'm eager to see how it all unravels.
Well, we'll definitely need to unpack all of that in our next part, but for now, let's take a break and come back refreshed and ready to dive back into the deep end.
We left off with Scarlett and Lucas at a crossroads.
Right.
Their relationship on shaky ground after Penn's, revelation?
It's like all the progress they made in understanding each other just blew up.
Exactly. It's a harsh reminder that the past can have a powerful hold on the present. Lucas is forced to confront his own motivations for being with Penn,
Yeah.
and Scarlett has to deal with the emotional fallout of feeling like she was a second choice.
And it's not just about romantic relationships, right? This whole situation brings up questions about Scarlett's self-worth. She's already struggling with the mental block in her diving career, and now she's questioning her value in her personal life, too.
Absolutely. Hazelwood does a great job of weaving together these different threads. Scarlett's journey isn't just about finding love. It's about finding herself and recognizing her own worth regardless of external validation.
So how does she start to piece things back together?
Well, she throws herself into her training. Preparing for the World Championships becomes her focus.
Okay.
It's a way to channel her energy and prove to herself that she's capable and strong.
It's interesting how diving, which was initially the source of her anxiety, becomes her refuge. It's like she's reclaiming her power through the very thing that was causing her so much pain.
Exactly. And while Scarlett is focusing on her career, Lucas is doing some soul-searching of his own. He realizes the depth of his feelings for Scarlett and how his past with Penn has clouded his judgment.
So he finally sees that his initial resentment towards Scarlett was misdirected. He was projecting his own fears and insecurities onto her.
Precisely. He understands that his need for control stemmed from his grief over losing his mother. He was trying to find a sense of stability and purpose through his swimming, but it ultimately left him feeling empty.
And Scarlett, with her own experiences with trauma and vulnerability, is able to see through his walls and recognize the pain he's carrying.
That's the beauty of their connection. They both have a deep understanding of what it means to struggle with inner demons. They see each other's flaws and vulnerabilities. Instead of judging or rejecting, they offer empathy and support.
It's like they're able to create a safe space for each other to be their authentic selves.
Exactly, and that's a powerful foundation for any relationship, romantic or otherwise.
But even with this newfound understanding, they still have obstacles to overcome, right?
Of course. Distance becomes a major factor. Lucas has commitments in Sweden,
Okay.
and Scarlett is focused on her training in the U.S. They're physically apart, which puts a strain on their communication.
It's a classic test of their commitment. Can their relationship survive the distance and the pressure of their individual pursuits?
And Hazelwood adds another layer of drama with the introduction of new characters. Specifically, there's a fellow diver who develops a rivalry with Scarlett,
Oh.
adding tension to the competition aspect of the story.
It's like she's facing challenges on multiple fronts. Her professional life, her personal life, and now this added pressure from a competitor.
But these challenges ultimately serve to strengthen her resolve. She learns to focus on her own goals and not let the noise of others distract her.
It's a reminder that true strength comes from within. It's not about being perfect or winning all the time, but about persevering through adversity and staying true to yourself.
And as Scarlett is navigating these challenges, Lucas is going through his own transformation. He starts to prioritize his well-being and seeks therapy to address his grief and anxiety.
It's a powerful message about the importance of mental health, especially for athletes who often face immense pressure to perform.
And it shows that vulnerability isn't a weakness, but a strength. It takes courage to acknowledge your struggles and seek help.
So both Scarlett and Lucas are on these parallel journeys of self-discovery, supporting each other from afar.
And their communication, despite the distance, becomes more honest and vulnerable. They share their fears, their doubts, their triumphs.
It's like their bond deepens even though they're not physically together.
Exactly. And this leads to a pivotal moment where Scarlett finally overcomes her mental block. She successfully performs the dive that's been haunting her.
It's a symbolic victory, representing not only her athletic achievement but also her emotional growth.
It's a culmination of all the hard work she's put in, both physically and mentally. And Lucas, despite being miles away, celebrates her triumph as if he were right there with her.
It's a beautiful testament to their connection.
But just when it seems like things are falling into place, another bombshell drops.
Uh-oh.
Penn confesses that she was the one who leaked Scarlett's medical records to a rival diver.
Wow, that's a huge betrayal.
It's a shocking revelation that exposes Penn's own insecurities and the destructive nature of jealousy.
And it forces Scarlett to confront the hurt and anger she's been carrying.
But it also opens up a space for forgiveness and reconciliation.
So even amidst the drama and the betrayals, there's a glimmer of hope for healing and growth.
And that leads us into the final part of Deep End, where we see how these characters navigate the aftermath of these revelations and ultimately find their way to a resolution.
I'm eager to see how it all unfolds. I'm ready to find out what happens.
Right where we left off, Penn's confession.
How does Scarlet react to this betrayal?
I mean, she's hurt and angry, of course. It's a violation of trust.
Yes.
That really shakes her. But, amidst the pain, she also sees Penn's vulnerability, right? She sees that Penn's actions were driven by insecurity and fear. Not malice, really.
It's a reminder that even in the midst of betrayal, there's often a deeper story of pain and struggle.
Exactly. And Scarlet, with her own experiences of overcoming adversity, chooses to approach the situation with empathy and understanding. She confronts Penn, holds her accountable for her actions, but also offers a path towards forgiveness.
It's a powerful moment of growth for both characters. Scarlet demonstrates her strength and resilience by choosing forgiveness, and Penn takes responsibility for her mistakes, paving the way for healing and reconciliation.
And this theme of forgiveness extends beyond Scarlet and Penn's relationship. Lucas also has to confront his own past and seek forgiveness for the ways he's hurt both women.
His decision to stay with Penn out of obligation rather than love created a web of deceit and emotional turmoil.
He realizes that his actions were driven by a sense of guilt and a need to control, stemming from his unresolved grief over his mother's death.
So it's a layered process of self-reflection and accountability for all three characters.
And as they navigate these emotional complexities, their individual journeys continue to unfold. Scarlet focuses on preparing for the U.S. Olympic trials, channeling her energy into her passion for diving.
It's inspiring to see her reclaim her power and strive towards her dreams, despite the challenges she's faced.
And Lucas, through therapy and self-reflection, begins to prioritize his well-being and shed the burden of expectations he's carried for so long.
He learns to embrace vulnerability and communicate his needs, fostering a healthier relationship with himself and with others.
And amidst these individual journeys, their connection rekindles. Despite the physical distance and the emotional turmoil they've endured, their bond remains strong.
It's a testament to the depth of their feelings and their willingness to work through challenges together.
And in a heartwarming turn of events, Scarlet qualifies for the Olympic trials.
Wow.
Fulfilling a lifelong dream.
It's a moment of triumph that signifies not only her athletic prowess, but also her resilience and determination.
And as she prepares for this next chapter, Lucas finally declares his love for her, this time with unwavering clarity and conviction.
It's a beautiful culmination of their emotional journey. They've both grown individually and as a couple, reaching a point of mutual understanding and acceptance.
The story concludes with Scarlet and Lucas embarking on a future together, both personally and professionally. They support each other's ambitions, celebrate each other's victories, and navigate life's challenges with a shared sense of purpose and a deep love for one another.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into Deep End, what are some key takeaways for our listener?
I think this book beautifully illustrates the complexities of human relationships and the transformative power of forgiveness and self-discovery. It reminds us that vulnerability is not a weakness, but it's strength, and that authentic connection requires honesty, empathy, and a willingness to confront our own shadows.
It's a story that encourages us to embrace our imperfections, to seek support when we need it, and to believe in the possibility of healing and growth, even in the face of adversity.
And ultimately, it's a celebration of love in all its messy and complicated glory.
Well said. We hope you enjoyed this deep dive into Deep End. Be sure to check out Ali Hazelwood's other works, and let us know what books you'd like us to explore in future deep dives.
Thanks for joining us. Subscribe for more bookish adventures and hit that like button if you enjoyed the ride. Don't forget to share the knowledge, spread the word.